Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Box. And some really, really cool news. Another member of the Springboks has officially joined Roc Nation, who continue to start signing up a lot of South African talent. And this is a really cool feels good story, actually, to be honest. And that's kind of why I'm doing a video about it, because it's an individual who has been instrumental to the Springboks' success that has basically been written off since he was first announced as part of the Springbok setup, and has had to ride a wave of lots of criticism and a lot of doubters, and has taken that within his stride throughout his career, and I think is still a very much an unsung hero within the box, and that is Springbok coach Mzwandile Stick. He has joined the Roc Nation family, becoming the first rugby coach to join them. He joins the likes of, as per the website, Apelefasi, Cheslin Kolbe, Ellis Genge, Jordan Hendrickse, Siya Kolisi, Beeson Tyrera, Marcus Smith, for example, Ollie Lawrence, to name a few of the main big stars of Roc Nation, and a mass congratulations to him. Stalker, as he's fondly known, has been part of the box sort of setup since since Rassie came in, really, and was named as assistant coach. And he's basically, his role is off the ball coach, and that's a very interesting role, because I think a lot of people don't really understand what it means, and a lot of people, assume that he was basically the backline coach when he came in, because of his background in sevens, and he played in the backline when he did play 15s, but his role is much more than that, and he's been very much touted as potentially being the Rassie Erasmus successor. I think that when we really started to see the success of Mzwandile Stick was when he started doing more and more press conferences, and you could actually start get to know the person behind the name. When you see a name, for example, who had, he didn't have the most ridiculous coaching CV when he came into the setup. He worked with the EP Kings, basically under 21s, did a very good job there, and done a bit of work in the sevens and the likes of that. And then you got the call up. So a lot of people had their doubts about whether he was the right individual. If you meet and chat to him for about 10 minutes, you will have no doubts. He has been one of the best people I've actually interacted with when it comes to the box. The most grounded person ever, very relaxed, very serious when he needs to be. And the big thing about it is, as when it comes to the Springboks, he just gets it. He understands how things should work. He sets very high standards, and I think this is a reward for someone who has really, really grafted and is now seeing the rewards for it. So basically, in terms of what this partnership means, because it's an interesting one, it does suddenly mean he's going to leave the Springboks. Has he signed to Roc Nation, who are an agency because they're looking for jobs? It's not that case. He's not going anywhere, so you don't have to worry if you think he's going anywhere. But basically, is the whole idea of signing with Roc Nation is that they will manage him and look after him in terms of maximizing his goals on and off the field. That is basically what they're saying, as well as sort of exploring commercial opportunities. And this is a big thing. Players earn a lot of money. Why can't the coaches earn a lot of money, for example? Why can't the coaches get what they deserve in terms of what the input they get in? Because they don't get paid as much as the players, and they obviously don't get the big endorsements and the likes of that. Or can they? That's a big thing that's starting to happen more and more. That's what these agents are trying to do, is help coaches basically maximize their career and their sort of commercial and aspirations. Now, he is a coach, an out-and-out coach. And I mean, literally, look at his words. He says, coaching is what I live for. He said, it's where my heart is, and I want to ensure that I can continue to give my all to the team, but I fully appreciate the value of having a strong team behind me and feel it is the right time to take the step with Roc Nation International. A big part about Mzwandile Stick is development, rugby development. He's much more than just what happens for the Springboks. He's very much, I think he very much knows where he's come from, and the opportunities he was lucky enough to have, and how so many people don't get that opportunity. So rugby development is something very, very close to his heart, and that is hopefully, I think, one of the things that he's hoping that Roc Nation will assist him with. Trying to work on sort of off-field projects, and also his off-field ambitions and the likes of that, such as growing the game, and also again, maximizing his commercial opportunities to make sure that he is well set. So speaking on it, the Roc Nation, RNSI President Michael Yormack, when he welcomed Stick to the Roc fam, said, Mzwandile Stick is a remarkable individual, both as a coach and as a person. His passion, integrity, and commitment to making a difference align perfectly with our values, and we are so excited to see him become the first coach from South Africa to join RNSI. We are fully committed to supporting his coaching goals and off-field ambitions, while also assisting in facilitating commercial opportunities and building his profile. I love the idea of building his profile. This is somebody whose name is not thrown around when you talk about the big South African coaches. We talk about Johan Ackerman, Franco Smith, Johan van Graan, Jake White, and we don't talk about Mzwandile Stick in the same sort of sentences because he's been an assistant coach for a start of it, but he's been with the Boks and he's been a very good coach. And I think we give Rassie Erasmus all the credit, and not to say he doesn't deserve so much of the credit because he does, but I don't think we ever give enough credit to the coaching staff around Rassie Erasmus and what they give it. And that's what Chasing the Sun really did. It shows you how good Jacques Nyoba is on his own, sort of standing by himself. It shows you how good Don Human is as a scrum coach. And I think that's also something that I think we as fans need to start being better as appreciating the coaching staff instead of just the head coach. I mean, we all love Rassie, and how can you not love Rassie? But when you watch the podcast between Rassie Erasmus and Mzwandile Stick, it makes you realize first of all, how close they are, and the relationship they have, and how important Mzwandile Stick is in terms of providing, context as well to coaches who maybe don't understand, somebody from his background and players that come from a similar background to him, the challenges that they have. And understanding the cultural differences and that's where the Springboks, I think, success has really come in. It's they've managed to merge people from different backgrounds, cultures, setups, and be able to understand what makes them tick and how can they sort of blend them together. How do you take people who come from completely different backgrounds and put them together in one team and align them? And I think Mzwandile Stick does a massive part in that. He's a people's person. You can see he's got the respect. And I mean, when you look at the press conferences and you speak and you hear the players speak about Coach Soccer, as he's known, there's such a deep line of respect for him, and it's really, really cool to see somebody like Roc Nation appreciating that and him getting these opportunities. Could he be the future Springbok coach? I don't know. I don't think. I think he's got the personality for it. I think that he speaks incredibly well. I think he loves pressure. I think he really invites that on. He doesn't have head coach experience, but neither did Jacques Nyoba when he took over. So I think with the right team, I think he could be very successful. I would love if he doesn't go there. I would actually love to see him at a franchise. I would love to see him at a Lions, for example, or taking over a franchise and growing them, because I think he could do a fantastic job. So, he's doing a really good job at the Springboks, but I would absolutely love to see him at the helm of one of our franchises, because I think he could do a really, really good job. And it's a bit of a 6.5 doesn't other sort of situation. But he's so young. I think this is also something people don't realize. I mean, he went into coaching immediately after playing. He did hang out in his career relatively early. I think he was about 26, 27 when he started playing, and immediately went into coaching. He was the EB Kings under-21 coach. He was then under-19 coach. He was an assistant coach at Southern Kings. He also was the Vodacom Cup head coach, those sort of things. But he started coaching in 2013, which is 12 years ago. At 28 years old, he's only just turned 40. So he's got 20 years potentially ahead of him of coaching, and he's now come up on 9 years, I think, with the Boks. In fact, he actually started, I think, before Rassie came in. But I would love to see him as a head coach of a franchise. I really would. I think he'd be brilliant for a start, and I think that would be a valuable experience for him. Where do you see his future coming? Is he going to be a Springbok head coach? Will he go to a franchise, for example? What do you think is the best move for him? And what do you think this Roc Nation deal is going to do for him? Let me know down in the comments below, and smash a like on the video as well. And we'll see you guys all very soon.